What to be to capital G here. Looks like it is a bad time to be a cheater in the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game, because apparently it doesn't matter what your accomplishments are or who you might be, you can get absolutely fucking wrecked by these Yu-Gi-Oh judges because they are out here and they don't have any chill. So what am I talking about? I'm actually talking about how our 2017 Yu-Gi-Oh World Champion, this guy actually went the Worlds and won the entire event. I mean, he reached the pinnacle of essentially playing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh and accomplished the dream of basically every competitive duelist on the planet. He actually ended up getting suspended from Japan's largest tournament series over the weekend. They actually caught this guy cheating multiple times in a feature match. Well, I can't technically say it was a feature match, but I know that the match was actually being recorded, and they basically said, look, you're no longer welcome to enter our event. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure that it's only a matter of time because they have straight up video evidence, which, actually led to them making that decision. I'm pretty sure it's only a matter of time before this guy gets an official ban from Konami saying that he can't play Yu-Gi-Oh in any premier tournament. But essentially there is a thing called the Haiti Championship, and if you guys don't know, I'm not exactly sure if it's like the equivalent of the YCS, which I guess technically it can't be because there was a YCS event in Japan now, so I guess they technically have a YCS, but this is the biggest tournament series in the OCG, or in the nation of Japan. So obviously it's a pretty big deal. Winning this thing probably not only gets you a lot of notoriety, but some pretty good prizes and a lot of clout and stature and stuff like that. Although he's a world champion, so how much does he actually need? But anyways, to the point, he was actually playing a duel, and the duel was actually being recorded. So this probably wasn't a good idea to try to cheat in that duel. And he was caught stacking. He didn't shuffle his deck a couple of times. He drew cards without shuffling his deck. They say that he actually drew cards without giving his opponent the opportunity to cut, and unfortunately for him, there's just straight up hard evidence. Now I actually have this. Well, this was the actual duel, and by the way, this is how you can kind of tell that people were not happy about this, about a Yu-Gi-Oh world champion having a feature match in which he just blatantly cheats. You see the duel right here, and it has 26,000 views, so this is a pretty big deal. And yeah, 250 dislikes to only 30 likes. That already tells you that something kind of fishy goes on in this duel. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what he did, and I'll talk about it a little bit, because he came out on Twitter and initially he basically denied it. He says, look, I didn't do anything intentionally, but then he kind of apologized and he said, I'm sorry I caused any inconvenience. I'll talk about a little bit. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but let's go ahead and show you guys what he actually did, because again, it's straight up caught on video, so I don't really think that he can actually deny it. And by the way, before I play this, it's so jarring seeing a Nightmare Goblin on the field. I had to do a double check. I'm like, wait, what is this? Oh yeah, it's OCG. So I'm not sure why Firewall Dragon is upside down. It doesn't change the link points though, but whatever. So anyways, I believe that is Nightmare Cerberus. So he's gonna attack the multi-faker, and the guy, our world champion, is actually playing Ultra, guys. So he's going through his deck because obviously he gets to search. Now here's the thing, right? To give this a quick setup, he actually has Multi-Faker right here. Multi-Faker is the card on the bottom of his deck. So he's going to ultimately choose Multi-Faker. But the thing is, if you were going to choose Multi-Faker, there really shouldn't have been any reason for you to constantly look through your deck and shuffle and move cards or anything like that. Although, he might want to look through and see, what do I have left in my deck. Although, based on his graveyard, it appears that, almost all his Ultrageist monsters are still in his deck. So I'm going to see if I can get this right the first time. If not, I'll have to do a little bit of editing, which I really don't want to do. So you see he's kind of searching through his deck. All right, I think I'm going to make sure we get it right here, and then I'll slow it down. You know what? Here it is. Here it is right here. So you can see he's actually, it looks like he's about to decide to pick a card from the middle of his deck, right? So we're going to slow this down to super slow-mo. And again, I apologize. I tried to have it set up the best that I could. So just keep watching right here. You see him, and he's looking kind of through the middle of his deck. That would kind of indicate, if I was his opponent, boom, hold on. That would, to me, that would indicate that he's selecting a card from the middle of his deck, right? But here's what he does. You can see him taking this card, right? And it's not the card that he's going to select. It's not like he's pulling a Sequidius and he's going to reveal it to his opponent, then add it to his hand. What he actually does is he takes that card. Okay, go ahead and play YouTube. He takes that card and he puts it on the top of his deck. And then he just keeps on searching as normal. Now, let's just be real about that. Number one, you are 100% not allowed to do that. You can't take cards and move them in any order when you are actually looking through your deck. You're allowed to do that if you're, before the duel. Well, now I don't even know if you're allowed to do it then, but you're definitely not allowed to do it in the course of a duel when you're actually playing. You're not supposed to actually change the order of your cards except for when you're actually shuffling them. So he has now taken a card and he has added it to the top of his deck, and now he's just looking around. Now, when you do this, basically what people do is they false shuffle. They basically make it. Now, look, the thing is, you can see right here, Multi-Faker has been at the bottom. This is a Multi-Faker, by the way. Multi-Faker has been at the bottom of his deck the entire time. So you're wondering, like, hey, Cap, why did he look through the middle of his deck? Why did he take a card from the middle of his deck, put it on top of his deck when the card he wanted was at the bottom of his deck the entire time? So I believe that right now he is actually going to, well, it's going super slow right quick. So I think I might put it back. Well, he's false shuffling. I think he's going to false shuffle, and then he is ultimately going to select the Multi-Faker. But yeah, you can see right there, he did like a little bit of a false shuffle. He does ultimately take the Multi-Faker in. A lot of like people who play Yu-Gi-Oh a ton, or you can go to Vegas, anybody knows how to do this. Basically, when you false shuffle, you make sure that you don't actually move the top card of your deck. Now, he doesn't give his deck to his opponent to cut, although, maybe there's a small fault there because his opponent should have been like, hey, let me go ahead and cut your deck. But I believe that the card he ends up drawing is Rivalry of Warlords. Now you can see his opponent has extra linked them, but the Nightmare attribute, whole bunch of different attributes. So obviously Rivalry of Warlords versus, or excuse me, a whole bunch of different types. I'm thinking of Goza match. I got them mixed up. Obviously Rivalry of Warlords or Goza match, both of them would be extremely good against an extra link board. And Goza match, Ultra Guys players don't play that, but they do play Rivalry because the entire archetype is Spellcaster. So let's go ahead and see if the card that he ends up drawing, we might have to actually fast forward this, but yeah, let's go ahead and fast forward this. There's no reason to like watch this this battle phase or anything. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go 2x speed. He hasn't drawn yet, so it looks like he's attacking, but I don't think that it's going, it's obviously not enough damage to actually kill this guy, especially considering I believe that Nightmare Mermaid has like no attack, Link Karibo, same thing. These are a very small monster. I'm not even sure if the Nightmare Mermaid is actually like debuffing the monsters. Irrelevant. He doesn't have enough damage to actually kill him. Also, Nightmare Goblin doesn't have that much. Looks like he might be flipping over. Is that Protocol? I think he's trying to summon Multi-Faker. Okay, fair enough. I think he's using, he's using Conqueri. All right, fair enough. I didn't actually watch this part. I just actually read about what happened. So I believe that soon enough. Oh, looks like he's going back into his deck again. Holy moly. Did this guy do the false shuffle twice in a row? Again, oh my god. This guy, again, he has gone into his, I didn't even know about this part, but again, he goes back into his deck, does not give his opponent the ability to actually cut or have the final cut in Hunt. I'm just really interested to see what his top card is, because people said that his top card was actually Rivalry of Warlords, which, obviously, if he gets Rivalry, then the extra link is just going to be basically shattered, and he should easily be able to come back. So again, I apologize. I should have had this already. What's it called? Dang it, I don't know. But if he sets a Rivalry or flips over a Rivalry, then we do know that it was Rivalry of Warlords that he drew, because if Rivalry was already set on the field, he would have already activated. So let's just see. Looks like he's just doing a whole bunch of like hand shuffling, and let's see if he sets a trap card and then he ultimately ends up flipping that card over. I just think that it's crazy that he would do this multiple times while actually, all right, that's personal spoofing. It's so crazy that I don't know if he just didn't realize that he was actually being recorded, but how could you not? It's obviously a camera there, but it's really unfortunate that I think some people, maybe they cheat so often that they honestly don't even think about it. Maybe it's just out of sight, out of mind, like they're so used to it. He can't go into his extra deck, right? His opponent has extra linked him unless he does attack over, or unless he gets that like Link Karibo off the field. It looks like right now, all right, so he did, hold on. So he set a trap. So if that trap is Rivalry of Warlords, then what people are saying that he did stack Rivalry on top of his deck, I'm going to say that is pretty much confirmed at this point. Let's see if this card right here is Rivalry of Warlords. I assume maybe he'll wait until the battle phase or something like that, or maybe he'll just hard rip it at the beginning of the turn. But if it is Rivalry of Warlords, then I think it's a pretty good assumption to say that he did stack, although we do know that he did stack a card on top of his deck. And it's such a shame, too, because, this is a guy who was a Yu-Gi-Oh! World champion, and now when you're caught cheating, it's like, I mean, they can't take away your accomplishment, your experience, and, you know, the excitement and the joy of you winning that event. But to me, especially considering that it was just last year, I kind of feel like everything, yep, there's Robbery of Warlords. You guys can see it right there. Let me just show you guys full screen. Boom. That is definitely Robbery. So yeah, this guy stacked Robbery of Warlords. I kind of feel like everything that he has accomplished now has to kind of be brought into question, because if you're caught cheating at you know, Japan's largest tournament, then what makes you think that he probably wasn't cheating during, you know, the Worlds events? And granted, the Worlds events are going to have some, you know, really talented and good players, but there's obviously the language barrier. People might not know when he's done shuffling or how many times he's going through his deck. So I don't know, man, but I think it's kind of, you know, it's kind of sad to see somebody of this caliber just caught straight up red-handed. And even on this article on Anime News Network, they have the same exact clip where you can see him taking a card and putting it on the top of his deck. I didn't actually know that he went through multiple times and didn't actually give his deck to his opponent to, you know, actually get the final cut in the shuffle. But, you know, they say right here that he drew cards without shuffling, and we just kind of confirmed that he did that. Same thing about him not really properly shuffling through the match. So whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Whenever you guys are playing at a high level event, man, keep your eyes on your opponent, because if our world champions can't be trusted, like, who can you trust? I feel like short of Billy Brake and Jeff Jones, I got to keep an eye on everybody. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn that notification bell for daily videos, and check out these other videos I know you'll enjoy.